In this tutorial, we're going to talk about the basic elements of a blog. Now, on your website, you typically have pages, and those tend to be static because you're writing information about the service offerings or products that you sell, and that information doesn't tend to change very often. The blog is a complementary piece of your site that's going to continuously, organically grow over time. It's going to demonstrate your opinion, your subject matter expertise, thoughts on things that are topical and related to your service offerings or your products. It could be ongoing information for your customers on how to use your product or changes in the industry, best practices, etc. Or it could again just be demonstrating thoughts and opinions about things that are changing in the industry which may or may not be directly related to the product. It's up to you to decide, but ultimately it's best to keep information here relevant to the overall topic of your website. Now, the elements of a blog are pretty straightforward. You have blog posts, which is really, the article that you're writing, and you have ways of organizing that content so the readers can find it. So in a blog post, you have a title, you have the publishing date, who the author is, and it could be listed as a title or by a person's name. That's all editable. Your body content, it could include imagery, it could include an embedded video, it could be anything you want. You also have sort of organizational filing information. So for example, this was filed under trucks and tagged as hybrid. Basically, this means every blog post should fall under an organizational scheme that you need to think about as you start up your blog, and categories being the most important, defining like what are the high level arching ways that you're going to organize your content. And then tags might be something to go and take it a little bit deeper, bring it a little bit more niche. So if this was a website that was dedicated to the transportation industry and we're talking about vehicles, and categories might make sense to go and break it down to boats, cars, trucks, airplanes, etc. And then if you go and you want to tag particular content within an article, so if you had an article about hybrid trucks, then you'd probably go and categorize it as trucks and tag it as hybrid, because the term hybrid you might use in multiple places. You might also have articles about cars that are hybrid cars, and that way you're going to allow someone, when they're using navigation on your site, to go and either say, I only want to look at content about trucks, so I'll click on this category, or maybe I want to see everything you wrote about hybrids and put that there. Again, it's up to you to decide. You really need to sort of think these issues through at the beginning, as you're planning your blogging approach, and then you can always change these over time. But the best part about all of this is it's going to be a good user experience for readers and search engines in order to go and find the content that you have on your site. Something else you can also do, I don't necessarily recommend, is there's other navigation tactics such as an archive. Archive might be just a chronological list in reverse order by month. So it might have the most recent month, and then the last month, and the month before that. And it's not really a way that humans search on information. Like someone who's just come to your site for the first time isn't necessarily going to know that there was something back in September 2006 that you wrote about that they really want to go and look under. So it's not really a useful method of searching, and therefore it just becomes a piece of cluttered real estate on your page. Another example that I don't recommend is typically a calendar. You might see something that looks like a month calendar, and you can click back and forth for years and months. And again, it's just not an intuitive way that somebody who's new to your information is going to search on it. If they need to find something, they can either use a site search function that's probably built into your site, or reading through article heads, categories, and tags in order to find that information.